Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. First of all, congratulations to all those who have made it to the interview round. Today I'm going to talk about my panel interview round experience and give you some tips and advice for this round. So my interview round was conducted by AFS India on 25th March 2025 at 2:15 p.m. It lasted for some 15 minutes, but trust me, those 15 minutes were enough for the AFS to really understand who you are and your personality. Also, since this was my first interview, like first ever interview in my life, I was very nervous. I still remember that even before having the lunch, my stomach was full of nervousness. But once the interview started, it slowly felt more like a conversation and I started becoming comfortable. It was not a very strict question and answer type of interview. It felt more like a conversation about who I am as a person. AFS is not looking for perfect English speakers or rehearsed answers. They want to see how you think, how you adapt to new situations, and how you react to the situations. So, in my interview, they asked a mix of personal questions and situational questions. They started off with a simple introduction of me and my family. Then they asked how I would manage staying away from home. I answered it honestly. I said that since I'm a sports person, I have been to different places and stayed away from my parents. So I have the experience of staying away from my parents. But since Japan is a 4 months long program, my parents might feel a bit worried, but I think with time we will adjust. And that's how I answered the question. Most of the questions that were asked in my panel interview round were centered around my personality. They asked me about my strengths and weaknesses. Further, they also talked about my involvement in sports and even asked a question that what clubs I will be joining if there is no sports or art related club which I'm interested into. To that question, I answered I will join the Japanese cultural clubs and sports clubs. And in fact, I actually joined many Japanese sports clubs and cultural club during my stay in Japan. I joined the Kendo club, Judo club, soft tennis, volleyball, soccer, tea ceremony, and the Japanese calligraphy club. Further, they also asked about how would I communicate with the Japanese people, knowing that they are very shy. I said that since I have enough time to learn Japanese language, I'll give my best in learning the language and get a good hold into the language. I'll start off with communicating using gestures and basic Japanese. Further, I would improve my Japanese and build more deeper connections with them. Another situational question was what if I get lost in Japan without internet or without any guide? To that I answered since I had read a post by an alumni about her experience in Japan. She said that Japanese people are very kind, so they will help me out in any way possible. There was also a Japanese interviewer in the panel interview round. He asked me that since I am a taekwondo athlete, do I like South Korea more or Japan? To that, I answered with a smile, like with a great smile, and said, like, I like both the countries. He also asked me about how will I clear the misconceptions about India and Indians in Japan. To that, I answered, with time, I'll improve my Japanese and try to communicate with the people and share my real experience and represent my country in a positive way. I would also explain them with facts and my actions. Further, they even asked me about my preparation about the Japanese language, and I answered honestly that I have a basic knowledge of the Japanese language and I was actively working on improving it. So, from this, you might have understood that all the overall questions were designed to understand how I think in real life situations. So here my advice is try to learn the Japanese language as soon as possible. Try to prepare some basic Japanese lines beforehand just in case. It can be some introduction lines such as Watashi wa Tanisha Sahu desu, Indo kara kimashita, Junana sai desu. Like I'm Tanisha Sahu, I'm from India and I'm 17 years old. Do some research about the Japanese language, its scripts. So even if your Japanese is not perfect, the effort matters a lot. One thing that made a difference in the whole interview round was my smile and my confidence in answering the questions. In fact, one of the interviewers from India really appreciated my smile, and that really boosted my confidence. Don't stress too much, smile, answer honestly, and know yourself very well. If possible, do some research from your end about the program and try to get some insights from the past Asia Kakehashi Project recipients. So that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching, and I really hope that this video helps you a lot. All the best for the interview round.